So, general relativity is another unification.
Yes, that's right. What Einstein realized was that if you were in a rocket ship and the rocket ship was a very quiet rocket ship and it was accelerating, it would feel like you were experiencing gravity. And so, as you say, it's one of his happiest moments when he realized that acceleration and gravity feel very much the same. What I'm impressed by is that idea, which is already a pretty neat idea, somehow led him to take his space-time idea, take this acceleration gravity idea, and realize that he could describe gravity as the bending of space-time. Space-time being constant, like east, west, north, south, that's already hard enough. But now he's saying, well, take your map and crinkle it and bend it and so forth. And that's gravity. That is a staggering, mind-blowing idea.
I guess I wonder if you can comment on what do you think is the idea generation process that leads to that. So it probably, in Einstein case, has to start with what if gravity is itself space-time geometry? You have to have a thought like that, right?
Yes, I think so. There's a lot about science. There's, of course, knowing what went before. There is knowing the mathematics that allows you to figure out the implications of your theory. There is the discipline to argue with yourself and other people because most ideas are wrong. But then there's what you just described, that intuitive spark. And that is something that is very, very difficult to create. There's a reason that we venerate these people, is because it is an unusual feature. And most people only have that aha moment once in their lifetime, if they have it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a tricky business, because I'm sure you do, and I get a lot of letters from creative thinkers who don't have all of the history and the mathematical discipline and the self critique that's necessary. And so they come up with these ideas, and often it's easy to see where they just don't play out. Um, so in order to be that person who changes the way we see the world, ideas themselves are not enough. These creative ideas, that's not enough. You need it with the discipline and the critique. And it's that amalgam of those things that, make you a genius that history remembers.
But it's hard to know in a field of people you might be tempted to call crazy. There could be geniuses there, and it's hard to know which is which. We should mention that Einstein himself couldn't see the genius in quantum mechanics initially. Couldn't see the correctness, I should say. So he could see the insanity of gravity bending space-time, but quantum mechanics was too weird for Einstein.
In all fairness, it's weird for me too. But but the thing is, even while that is true, and Einstein maybe spent the last few years of his life trying to blend electricity and magnetism and gravity in a single thing, and he was unsuccessful. But he still was a very, very valuable critic of quantum mechanics. It's not that he didn't understand it, because he did understand it. He thought about the implications and all this quantum entanglement business, not all of it, but he was responsible for saying, well, if you're right, then this. And of course, then people went out and found out that Einstein's implication of quantum mechanics was real. And so they could say, see, quantum mechanics is real. So, he was thinking deeply about it, and he was doing exactly that thing I said. There's that spark idea, but there's that critique idea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to critique an idea, you might kill it. And it's always depressing when I have this brilliant idea and it gets killed, but it's better to be killed than to keep it around and waste time on it. And so he was, in that case, not generating the aha, but he was saying is, all right, let's take your aha. Let's see it's right. What does it mean? It means this. That allows people to go test it. And so he was contributing very crucially to that other part of scientific advancement, which is not just the aha moment, but the beat it to death, test it, critique it, and make sure it's real. And it's only after all of that has been done that you really are sure you're right. And that's why science is such a powerful tool. It is that combative, just downright kind of jerky critique that most people don't like. They don't like people saying your ideas, might be wrong. But it is crucial. It's a crucial part of the scientific process.
Plus, there's that quote on the other side of it that I've heard you mention, which is, I believe your idea is crazy, but is it crazy enough? Was it
I
Niels
love that
Bohr?
one. Yes. We all agree that your idea is crazy, but is it crazy enough?
And there is some degree of taking those leaps of crazy, but it has to be backed with rigor.
Right.